Hi, greetings seventh grade orchestra parents and families. I'm Sarah Hart and I am seventh grade orchestra teacher here at Islander Middle School. For most of you, you know me already because I had your kids as sixth graders last year and I'm looking forward, very much forward to another year with them. A little bit about me, we do have a couple of new faces this year. I am originally from Oklahoma and Texas. I'm pretty recent to the Pacific Northwest. We moved here in 2016. This is about my 10th year of teaching, but I have a lot more than that in terms of private teaching as well. I really love working at IMS. I always say this is the best job I've ever had because working with Vicki White-Miltoon is just fabulous. And we have an amazing staff and administration here and parents here at IMS, and the kids are awesome. So I'm just very happy to be working here. Personally, I have my years of teaching, I teach music, but I've also taught English in the past because I have degrees in both. And I have 5 children with my partner. It's a blended family, and they're all teenagers. So that's a lot of fun. I have a dog, and I live in Duval. We recently moved this summer to a new house that we built. So that's been kind of my life lately. But anyways, that's a little background on me. Normally in curriculum night, I would give everybody a handout. And so what I'm going to do this evening is send all of this information with links and everything you need as an email. And so you can follow up there, and that way you can kind of source everything that we talk about from that aspect as well. But right now I'm going to share my screen, and I am going to just kind of walk you through a few things on this online platform that we are all dealing with right now. So hopefully this will illuminate some things about IMS and my class. So here we go. To share the screen, I'm going to start out by talking about, and I'm on the Schoology page for your kids' class right now. We'll get into that more later. But, you know, I always start my year with the classroom expectations. This is just a picture of the physical expectations in the class. So, you know, these are just what I expect from the kids, just being a good human. We're respectful, we're considerate, we're prepared, we work hard, we're kind, we're encouraging to our classmates and one another. So those are my basic expectations. We also at IMS have a set of Zoom expectations, and I'm sure you're seeing this a lot from the other teachers as well, because this is school-wide. But if you take a look, you know, it's just creating a, whoops, I don't know why that, oh, there we go. Creating a workspace that will help you, your student be focused, keeping cell phones away, which I know is a challenge for everyone, including myself. You know, respectful commenting, you know, make sure voices are heard, be engaged. We can't require kids to have their cameras on, but I do really encourage it because it helps me teach them, because I get a lot of nonverbal feedback when I can see their faces. So, you know, being focused, have your materials ready when class begins. And in this class, that also means being tuned. And we're going to work on that with the kids a lot at the beginning. You know, just being a thoughtful digital citizen. So those are just kind of the overall expectations for the class. Aside from that, you know, our daily procedures that the kids create their learning zone for orchestra, which we have been going over a lot. You know, have all their supplies ready, have their instrument out, their bow rosined, their in pin out, their shoulder rest on, in tune, music stand set up, and also be situated in the frame where I can see both right and left hand, as well as the path of their bow for me to be able to give feedback. and I'll just stop sharing for a second. But that's a real challenge for kids, is centering themselves. I see a lot of, shoulders and like somebody's ear. And so what I really want to see is them centered in the frame. For violins and violas, I prefer standing. And I want to be able to see what their arm is doing, what their hands are doing, what their fingers are doing. For cello and bass, that might mean they have to set up their screen a little farther from their instrument. But we're working on that. But any encouragement you can do of that with your kiddo is super helpful. So having their physical space ready is a big expectation, and that's going to help us get moving with all their supplies, materials, everything they need. I'm going to go back to sharing my screen again. Okay, so then we've got class time versus office hours, and I want to just talk about that for a minute. So this is the red schedule that we're working with right now. For this class, we meet on Mondays briefly, fourth period 10:35, and then we have a longer class, almost an hour, on Wednesday and Friday mornings. During that time, I'll be meeting with the full class, and that'll be that full 7th grade level group, and we will do things like icebreaker, social emotional check-ins, announcements, equipment check. We'll go over the WAG, which we'll get to in a minute, and then we'll do our playing, which will be, working finger patterns, working scales, working out of the book, and we'll get to that again in a minute as well, working on group pieces. Then we also have these office hour blocks, which happen later in the day. And I'm going to be assigning small groups of like instrumentation. So a group of maybe 5 violins or 4 cellos, and they're going to work on solo repertoire during that time. And the goal of that is going to be work toward an online Zoom recital, because I like for the kids to have something to work toward. And normally it would be a concert, but with the world the way it is right now, this is the next best thing. So this is my plan. So I'll be getting with your kids very soon about when their slot is in the afternoon during office hours, and it'll be once a week, probably for a 15-minute block. So if your kid might be in the Monday 12:40 to 1 o'clock block or whatever, and that would be every week, and that'll all be communicated in the coming days. So that's what's kind of the breakdown of what the curriculum is and when we do different things. If school resumes in person, obviously we'll be working toward concerts, we'll be working toward Winterfest, which is a really fun field trip we take. We'll be doing a tour of the elementary schools in the spring to play for the elementary kids. We work chamber music work. We do small ensembles, and we work on Disney music for our big fundraiser, Disney and Dessert. Many of you guys have been to that, or your kids have participated. So these are all the normal things that we're doing. We're hoping that at some point we get to that, but if not, then as the year progresses, we'll be working toward these recitals. And then in terms of curriculum, this is the year that we do tuning. We get much better at tuning, especially peg tuning, which is really necessary right now. Shifting, which is when your hand moves up and down the instrument to reach more notes. And then a lot of theory movement, so circle of fifths, if this means, if you guys have a music background, which I know a lot of you do, finger patterns and the connection of the finger patterns to the key signatures, minor scales, those kinds of things. Platforms we'll be using. Obviously, we'll be using Schoology, and I want to show you Schoology. So if we go to our class, we will immediately land on updates. And so your kids' side will look similar to this, this is the teacher side. But if you go to, this is 7th grade orchestra, always at the top of the updates will be the WAG for the week. And that's always the first place you go for any questions, because it kind of gives the weekly overview. I send it out, or I post it every Friday for the following week. So that's in updates. And if you go to the WAG, like this is the one for this week, which is, as you're watching this, will be last week. But if you go to the WAG, this is what it looks like, and you've probably seen it in other classes. Has the Zoom information, the links to get to the Zoom. It talks about materials, what we'll be learning, kind of the daily plan. And then over here in Share Your Learning, this is like the assignments. This is the stuff a lot of times that they're graded on or that they need to complete with links and reminders. And then at the bottom, there's like notes. So this is what it'll look like every week. I believe that every teacher in the school is using the same format to communicate with the kids about what is expected. So back to Schoology, you know, we've got under the updates, we've got the WAG, Week at a Glance. We also, and it's always at the top, the other thing under materials, if you happen to go there, and those are probably the two most important tabs on the left side, it's always here along with anything else that's going to be due this week that will have been linked to as well from the WAG. And then below that are folders full of auxiliary materials, and the kids can go through this with you. An icon like this means it's an assignment that they will submit on Schoology. Sometimes that'll be a playing test, sometimes that'll be a practice record. And then these are just other, and then after each week is finished, all of this information goes into the past week's folder. So if they have late work or missing work, that's where it can be found. Everything will also be on the calendar in terms of meetings, so they can also get the Zoom links there. So if they go to their calendar icon, that's a helpful place to go. And then up here is the icon to send me a message, and they all know how to do that because that's something we worked on first thing. So that's kind of the quick overview of Schoology. At this point, I'm thinking there are about 6 platforms that the kids are going to need to be proficient at to work through this class as we are on this online platform. So Schoology would be the first one and the most important, and we've spent a ton of time on this. Skyward is where they'll check their grades. And I also communicate with parents through Skyward for email. Zoom, obviously, for meetings. Charms, which is the whole program, and you guys all should already be there, but if you're not on Charms, a lot of times that's how Vicki will communicate with the whole program from 5th to 12th grade. And so it's important that kids are able to access that platform as well, and that's how you guys will get a lot of communications. General email is the 5th one, and then for parent communication and kids, if they'd like to communicate that way, that's fine. And then we'll be using the Essential Elements interactive website, and Essential Elements is the book series that we use in 6th and 7th grade. And I'll show you a couple things. Let me just back up real quick. Let me share my screen one more time. So here's what Charms looks like from the parent side. So if you haven't logged in there this year, you might want to try that. And if you have trouble, please email me or Vicki. And then this is the interactive website. Once the kids get their book, and we'll talk about that book in a minute, they're going to log in here using a code from their book. And it's a fun website. It's pretty easy to use. They can bookmark it in their browser. But it provides like backup tracks and metronomes and extra videos and things for them to help learn different skills. And I think especially right now, it's important for the kids to have it because it's a way to kind of feel like they're playing with somebody, because you've got that backup music that you can play along with to practice your lines from the book. So those are kind of the platforms we'll be using. In terms of grading, we've got 50% is participation, so that's being here on time, having your materials ready, being enthusiastic, keeping, engaged in the class, that kind of stuff. And then 25% will be practice records. These are due every Friday with a parent signature. So the kids will print this out at home, fill it out, get it signed, take a photo of it, and submit it to Schoology. That's kind of my workaround this year for practice records. And again, I'll show you what those look like. I'm going to share my screen again. So if you go to, this is what the practice records look like, something like this. So, and this is I hope the printing will look better than this, but for some reason it looks like this right now. But it's just a table so they can record their minutes. They do need to have, for full credit, 120 minutes, which they can space that out however they'd like. I recommend daily practice, so maybe 20 minutes a day with 1 day off. Or if they're a kiddo who likes to do 2 hours on Thursday night, that works too. It's their choice. So, that's just something that, I'll ask for your support with, helping them remember to get that practicing done, get their record filled out and then turned in. And then the last thing, and those are due on Fridays, so they'll submit those online on Fridays. The last thing with grading will be tests. Just like last year, they will complete mostly playing tests. And again, they will make a video recording of them playing some excerpt from the music and turn it in, and then I'll provide feedback and we'll move forward from there. So playing tests will happen. Sometimes we'll have written theory tests as well. And these will always be due on Wednesday, because Wednesday is our school-wide electives day for testing, because we wanted to make it easier for families to not have like 5 tests in one day. So we're doing electives around Wednesdays. Then in terms of supplies and materials, I'm going to go back to Schoology. And most of you probably know about this already because it's been sent home. But if you go to assignments dated, the due date is Friday the 11th, so last Friday by the time you see this video. There are 4 documents for the kids to either print off or look over with you. And then they've got the main thing for you to take care of with them is the sign off. And this is something that is due, that I just need to know that you understand and they understand all the stuff they need to have, what we're going to do this year, etc. I don't know why that's happening. Okay, so that's all there, and that's all on Schoology. So if you haven't seen that information yet, I encourage you to get with your kiddo and check in with them about course guide and all of that. Course guide, supplies list, the books list of what to order with links. I have Amazon links if you want to order them. That way you can get them from any local shop, of course. And then the sign off. So the sign off is the actual graded assignment due on last Friday. Scope of the program, this is a program that we offer from 5th grade to 12th grade. And we, Vicki and I really think of it as a curriculum that builds from year to year. And, we think of our orchestra kids, not just, oh, we're going to see you this year and be your teacher. We think of it as being a relationship that we'll have with your kids and they'll have with each other all the way through high school. So, we really, and each year, things are added to the program. There become contests and different kinds of concerts and trips. And, the big thing is, the high school gets to go to Disney, and, there are lots of different fun things that happen over the course of the program. So it is a sequential curricular program, but also in terms of, all the exciting fun things that they get to do from year to year. Okay, I'm almost done. All right, and so if you're interested in learning more about our program, I encourage you to go to the Team O website. Now, Team O is the booster club for Mercer Island schools, and if you go here, you'll see, here's the website, and this will all be in the email I'm going to send tonight too. And here's the website, and it tells everything you need to know. You've got, stuff about youth orchestras, music camps. You've got things about events, how to donate, what we do, who we are, everything to support the orchestra kids. So we do meet once a month. We'd love to have you join us and get involved. And so please let me know if you would be interested in that. And then, and that's Team O. So that's how we support our kids. The last thing I want to show you is, and this link will be in the email I'm about to send out, is a curriculum night parent questionnaire. Would love to hear from you about, it's just a Google form. I'd love to hear from you about questions, concerns, anything you want to tell me about your kids so that, I can serve them better. Any way that I can help as we navigate this bizarre time in our careers and in school. And so I'd love to hear from you about that, and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Also involved in this handout that I'm going to be emailing is my email. I have an open door policy. Please reach out if you have questions. I'm usually very quick about returning emails within 1 business day. But so just reach out and I will do my best to help out. Anyway, thanks for listening to this, and I hope it's helpful, and have a great evening.